A-Rod actually came out and said that he thinks he doesn't fit this team at all.
What?
Talking about the Yankees.
A-Rod is dumb. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock. And today, guys, we're going to be looking at every big MLB trade rumor that's going on right freaking now. Please sub if you enjoy baseball content and like and all that stuff, but let's just get straight into it. Okay, buddy, so there's been a lot of talks going around about Starling Marte because it's basically just been revealed that the Marlins they offered him a big extension. He said, nuh-uh-uh. And now those talks of extending him, they've kind of gone to the wayside, and it looks like he's definitely going to be shipped. Teams that are calling about him, that's been recorded, that are connected with potentially Starling Marte: Yankees, Astros, Phillies. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, I think that the Yankees would be a good option if they're buyers at all this season. We actually have a video coming about that tomorrow's. Phillies, I can see that. What's the other team?
The Astros.
Astros. I feel like there's no really need for that either. Like, the only upgrade they'd have is over Miles Straw, and Miles Straw is actually putting up a pretty decent year. So maybe it's a guy, maybe it's an upgrade that would be good for them. But I mean, he's gonna go somewhere, and he should at least. If not, then well, they're stuck with them.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the Astros, I don't really understand why you'd be in on a guy like this. Like, your offense is kind of similar to our offense, like just two super elite juggernauts, and it's like, you guys, maybe you want to get some more pitching, maybe some more bullpen. Starling Marte, he's going to cost a little bit, 13.4 on trade value, so he's not cheap. So I do think a better landing spot would definitely be the Yankees if they're going to make that postseason push. But that's what's going on with Marte. Another big bat, Kris Bryant.
Yes.
This one we made a video about, but it looks like the rumors are ramping up even more. New York Mets seem like the front runner, but there's some rumblings. Potentially the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Nationals are going to be one of the sellers this year. They're one of the sellers in my books, to be honest, because look, you're not going to get the wild card, and you're probably not going to beat the Mets. So let's be honest. Even though their offense is so bad, they're going to buy someone like Kris Bryant, boost that offense, and even some other guys that we're going to talk in a little bit in this video. They're going to buy big, and they're going to get Kris Bryant. They are my favorites to get Kris Bryant.
Yeah, I definitely hear you, man. The Nationals right now are 43 and 49. Like, you're just a little bit too far away for me to be thinking about going after like a big bat like a Kris Bryant. Like, this is a win now sort of move. Makes a lot more sense from the Mets. I feel like the second that DeGrom went down, the second that Lindor went down, it was like everyone started sniffing around that division. They're just like, okay, maybe the window's open. But I don't know, guys.
I don't know.
Feels a bit too late.
We're early to tell, but we'll see in a couple weeks. But as of right now, the Mets should be the ones in favorite to win that division.
Yeah, I definitely think Kris Bryant, that would be a great spot. That would be a great landing spot for Kris Bryant.
It'd be excellent. It'd be almost perfect. It kind of looks good in the Mets uniform. I haven't seen him, but I'm picturing it.
Yeah.
But honestly, he'd look good in any uniform.
Well, frankly, he's a very good-looking dude. So that's another podcast coming later. Padres looking like the front runner for Joey Gallo. For a long time, it seemed like the Yankees. They're still in the mix. They're definitely still there. But like you said, big question mark circulating around when they're buying. The Padres, though, they are being reported as ready to unload on this guy. It feels like the GM really, really likes him, and he's going to have to, because a 37.7 trade value for Joey Gallo is what it's going to cost.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to want that as the Padres. This is the Padres window. They are in win mode. They're with the White Sox. They're with the Dodgers. They're with, well, I was going to say Yankees, not anymore. All right. You could even say Houston Astros are in the win now window. Yeah. So it's time for them to do that. And the only reason, they'd go to the Yankees is because he's a lefty in that Yankee Stadium, which is that short porch into right field. So, but again, don't know if he's going to go there. My favorites are definitely towards the Padres.
Well, A-Rod actually came out and gave his 2 cents and said that he thinks he doesn't fit this team at all.
What?
Talking about the Yankees. Yankees.
A-Rod is dumb.
A-Rod was basically his whole argument. He went on to say, he's like, we need more contact guys. We need less swing and miss guys. And that does make sense. But right now, Yankees, you need a guy.
Yankees. Okay, we have a video coming out tomorrow. Guys, Yankees need a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So, shush, A-Rod. You're crazy.
Yeah,
you're a crazy man.
They are down definitely a lot. But I mean, going to the Padres would be crazy, guys. We're talking about a lineup that already has Tatis, Machado, Cronenworth. You add a Joey Gallo onto that. That could be the best front top heavy lineup in the entire MLB if you insert that guy into your 4 or 5 spot.
And you're forgetting even like Will Myers, Tommy Pham.
Totally.
Like there's so many guys like Nola. Like they're so stacked in that lineup.
That was my pick for World Series, and I mean, I still really like that pick. You go out, you get Joey Gallo. I like that pick even freaking more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okie doke. Behind us right now, guys, we have the Toronto Blue Jays getting absolutely slapped by the Boston Red Sox, who is potentially looking at an Anthony Rizzo to fill up that first base spot because they have had some struggles at first base. Now, you had some thoughts about this.
Yes, I don't think the Cubs are going to be shipping off Anthony Rizzo. Of the three-headed monster, I guess if you want to call it that, being Baez, Bryant, and Rizzo is probably the least likely. Number one, he sells tickets, and he's a giant, giant fan favorite. You sell Anthony Rizzo, you can kiss your fan base goodbye. Most of them, the kind of like bandwagoners, just like love, the love. Because like I was thinking when we traded away Josh Donaldson, so side note, all the fans ripped apart and our ticket sales dropped. So I'm a little bit, I don't think they're going to go full sell and give off everything. Rizzo will probably get an extension in there to stay.
Well, and that has kind of been the rumors. They've been saying that they want to extend not only Rizzo, but also Baez. And Baez is kind of in that same position as Rizzo right now. They want to keep him, but if they can't, there are some teams calling. The Mets, the Reds, the A's. These have been the kind of teams that are reportedly landing spots. Now, frankly, the A's, I don't know if these guys are ever going to make a big trade. It feels like they never go out and do that, and Baez would definitely be a big trade.
Well, here's the thing, too, is like there's a lot of first basemen on the market right now that you don't have to pay so much like an Anthony Rizzo to get. Like, there's Jonathan Scope on the Tigers. There's literally Carlos Santana on the Royals, Josh Bell on the Nationals. There are first basemen out there that aren't going to cost you Anthony Rizzo that can actually fill up a lineup. Like Bell sneakily has a 755 OPS, Santana 776, Scope 800, so easily can put them there, guys.
Yeah,
you don't need to buy
a little
Rizzo.
bit of a spoiler alert video coming out later this week is every team's most underrated player. A couple of those names that you just said could potentially be on it. And you're absolutely right. They can get the job done. They're not going to cost Anthony Rizzo costs, but they'll still be really good.
Yeah.
Moving on, once again, talking about the Yankees. I feel like every time that I was doing research for this, it was like literally like this guy linked to the Yankees.
Everyone's linked to the Yankees. Yankees are so desperate right now, man.
It's always, but it's every year. They're doing this every single year.
Even when it's one of their worst years in years.
Yes.
The
guy that I'm referring to is Trevor Story, and they're not the only team looking at him either. I've also heard that there's reports that the White Sox might like a Trevor Story as well. However, there's a little bit of drama circulating here because Colorado doesn't want to be the MLB's farm team anymore. They're saying that we better get a good freaking deal is what they want because they're not going to be forced into trading this guy, and they're thinking maybe they make him a qualifying offer, then get a compensatory pick. And basically just get that instead of trading him. And what's interesting to me is when I was doing my research, that's actually how they got Trevor Story to begin with. Was off of a comp pick and doing that. So once I heard that, I'm like, oh, maybe that does actually make a bit of sense.
It does make sense. So, well, you got to pay up for him, though, because his trade value is high, which is kind of funny because he's not having a good Trevor Story year. Like, he's literally only hitting 242 with an OPS of 743. Now, I just talked about guys with good OPSs of like mid-700s, but that's not good for Trevor Story. So I wonder how much they're willing to give up, and I wonder if he will stay because they're not going to match the demands of the Rockies based on his performance.
Yeah, well, I guess they're going to have to evaluate and decide whether or not whatever their return's going to be is going to be better than that comp pick or worse,
Exactly. Yeah. Because there are other guys out there, which we're going to get to in a little bit. And but if I were to say if anyone were going to pay up for him, I'd probably put my money on the White Sox.
Yes. Yeah. I would agree, man. And I do think the White Sox need to be buyers here. I love that team so freaking much. They look amazing. Get yourself a couple guys, White Sox. Twins now, similar boat as Colorado in the sense that they were being reported as maybe shipping off a lot of guys, and now they're like, wait, we maybe want to hold on to them. Berrios, Byron Buxton, those guys could be sticking around Minnesota for a little while longer, whereas Nelson Cruz, 41-year-old slugging monster, could be on the move.
It does make sense. I think early on in the season, we were all kind of overreacting to the Twins being such in the tank. They're like, oh, they got to sell everything now. Well, no, actually, they got a lot of guys still on another year of a deal. So their window is still there. I mean, they're not working with the guys right now, but it should work, right? So they're not going to sell everything. I agree. Sell a Cruz. What are some places that he could end up going to?
Well, Cruz, we made a little video about it. I still think that these are the best landing spots, being the Toronto Blue Jays and potentially the Oakland Athletics. There's no real other spot that I see Cruz being a guy because he's just a DH. You think he's got to go to an AL team, and you think about some of these other guys, like maybe the Rays might be interested in him.
Maybe. I mean, I guess they would because they have spots, but there's literally not much.
There's not much of a market for Cruz. If they do try to trade Berrios, his trade value is super high. Expect that to be a blockbuster deal if he goes on the move. Moving on, Boston once again linked to potentially Kyle Gibson. Now, this hasn't been talked about too much, but I personally think that Boston would be an exceptional landing spot for Kyle Gibson. We already both really like Boston to win this division. We can see the evidence behind us.
Commercial right now, but yes.
But, I mean, if they were to go out and get a Kyle Gibson while Chris Sale comes back, while Evaldi's doing what he's doing, and that lineup scoring 11 plus runs on the freaking Blue Jays. Yeah.
No, they were toast. I mean, again, another team that could get a Kyle Gibson, the Yankees. Yes. But who knows? Who freaking knows?
Or maybe even the freaking Toronto Blue Jays.
Or the Blue Jays. Because that's it, man.
We just had Ross Stripling out here give up 6 runs in the first.
Yep.
He's supposed to be part of that number 3 guy for us.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, if he starts to struggle in his next start and stuff, maybe I want to go out and get
honestly, maybe I want to get him freaking soon. I was just thinking about that when we're getting blown up in this game. I'm like, damn, is it time now with Manoah going on the IL too? We have a good spot for someone like Kyle Gibson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Toronto Blue Jays might be a dark horse contender for that guy. So look out for that. Craig Kimbrel, another guy that we really wanted our Toronto Blue Jays to go after. I still think that we're going to be in those conversations because the bullpen has been a problem for us, but it's been an even bigger problem for the Philadelphia Phillies. And if they truly want to go after this, because they're currently at a record of 47 and 45, that's only 2 games back of the Mets. I think that they're in this thing.
Yeah.
If they want to go after it, though, they got to shore up that bullpen and get a Craig Kimbrel.
Yeah, but that's the question. Is Craig Kimbrel going to be the answer to the bullpen, getting one dude to patch up 8 holes? So, I don't think so. So, the thing is, they got to make lots of moves. So, I'm wondering, because the Blue Jays have patched up a bunch of holes already, if the Blue Jays are favorites to go get him, and then what they try to do is more, go for someone like a Rodriguez and get lower guys off Baltimore, like Fry, Scott, Soto off of Detroit. You can get tiny dudes that are really good. Ian Kennedy quietly putting up a great year on Texas. Maybe even Hand in your own division if you're going to do the interdivisional trading. So we'll see what they do. I mean, that's the route I would go. So honestly, either one of those 2 teams.
Frankly, I think with DeGrom going down and Lindor getting out, or also going down, I really think that the Phillies are in this thing and they should be buyers. But you're right. If I was the Phillies manager, I'd be looking at getting 3 or 4 mid-tier guys rather than going out and getting one surefire stud, and trying to just build my team around him. No, fill all the holes.
You need many, many holes to fill up in that bullpen because that is a problem.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Holes on the White Sox, if there are any, then it's in that middle infield. It was when Nick Madrigal went down. Adam Frazier seems to be the perfect fit for them. He's also been linked to the Mets, but frankly, go to the White Sox, dude.
Yeah, no,
he seems perfect.
He's one of the best hitters in the entire MLB right now. He has an incredible batting average of 326. No one expected that. And yes, if they can't get Story, if he's too expensive, shockingly, Adam Frazier might be even cheaper. So
I actually, I don't know his trade value right now.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
You can only imagine just because of the name value of Story.
There is not a lot of name value associated with an Adam Frazier, but like you said, he's putting up an awesome year right now, all-star. He deserves to be on a contending team with what he's doing, and the White Sox are perfect. You pair that guy up with a Jose Abreu, with a Tim Anderson, you get him in that middle infield, like with Lance Lynn, Carlos Rodon, Giolito, Liam Hendricks.
They're looking really good.
That team, I think I picked San Diego Padres against Chicago White Sox in the World Series, and I gotta say, I'm really liking my predictions right now.
Yeah, nice. No, they're really good. Those are the two kind of up-and-coming teams that are like solid, and they're doing it right now.
Absolutely, buddy. A team that's also been doing it for time, did it last year incredibly well. It's the LA Dodgers. Now, there's not a specific name that they are linked to right now, but with the uncertainty surrounding Trevor Bauer's situation, with Clayton Kershaw being out for a while, it looks like the Dodgers are in the market for a starting pitcher. Who do you think would be a good fit for them?
I mean, they could literally get anybody they want. However, the only problem is they're over the luxury tax. So getting someone like, if the Nats do end up selling and not extending like someone like Max Scherzer, that's not going to be possible for them because he's $32 million. So whether they pay for half his contract or whatever, it's still going to be a lot of money for them. So they might also be in the market for maybe even some couple smaller pitchers as well. Danny Duffy on the Royals quietly having a really good season. And, you know, even someone like this, someone like on the Cubs, Kyle Hendricks has been rumored to kind of be like out and about, like potentially if they really want to ship it. There's years left on that guy, so I could see him doing that as well.
Totally.
And this is someone on the Twins as well. He's been injured, but he's coming back soon, and that's Michael Pineda. Michael Pineda and the Twins is decent. Now, it's not a big blockbuster move, but they can go make a move for cheaper options rather than blowing their wallet on a Max Scherzer.
I agree, buddy. And you're going to have Clayton Kershaw back for postseason anyways. Walker Buehler is killing it right now. I think Urias should be good by postseason as well. So, I mean, the guy that you trade for, you're probably not even going to start in postseason game as it is unless you're dealing with an injury. So, yeah, go out, get a mid-tier guy rather than that high-profile dude. Hold on to your prospects. Keep the dynasty alive. Those are my thoughts on it. Basically, guys, that's everything that I have right now. Have you heard any other big trade rumors?
No. They're going to keep coming, guys. There's going to be stuff popping up along the week, and we're going to be here covering it for you guys.
Absolutely. But, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Please, if you're new, like and subscribe, comment down below, all that. Today, Jace is our code for not only Monkey Knife Fight and for Manscaped. Those are our two sponsors. If you hop on using our code, it helps us out a bunch. Also, $3 a month, you can become a Patreon. Shout out and thank you to all of our current Patreons that we have right now. We appreciate you guys. You're awesome. You keep this channel going. And please comment down below your thoughts on any of the stuff that we talked about today. I know it was a lot. If you made it to the end of this video, good, like pat on the back for you, because this was a lot to get through, guys. A lot of stuff going on in the MLB right now. But like you said, we're going to cover all of it. What are other platforms?
Yeah, other platforms are Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, Breaker. And we also got our Twitter, our TikTok, our Instagram. You can check us out on there. And that's basically it, dudes. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And go Jays, go.